Hey, how you doing there again, folks? You got, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V, series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that, time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I'd heard this was coming, so I was really happy when I found it today. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And that is absolutely the case today. Went over there, got off work, knew I needed gas, so I went out to a gas station. And because I needed gas, I figured, I'll try to hit up like a gas station I don't hit up all that often. That way maybe I can go over there, find some stuff to review. And I did. I found a breakfast sandwich and I found some potato chips. So go look for those reviews. It was from Circle K. And because I was where I was, and it wasn't like the normal way that I head back to my house, I was like, all right, well, might as well head this way, right? And so I'm heading that way, and I realize, oh wait, there's a Walmart right off to the side. I do need some supplies, as you do. So I get around, I got my cart, I know I got a few things, but I'm always keeping my head on a swivel. What do I end up finding, folks? Well, it's only September, but that doesn't mean I'm not happy to see them. Because they're boom! These are the Halloween-themed Ghost Toast Kit Kats. Crisp wafers in cinnamon toast-flavored cream. Ooh. Or should I say, boo. Wow. 18-year-old Brandon would have beat the shit out of 38-year-old Brandon. Though, to be fair, 38-year-old Brandon would definitely fight dirtier. Definitely fight dirtier. That'd make it interesting, but I'd still think I'd lose. I just had more cartilage. But anyway, yeah, I've reviewed plenty of Kit Kat stuff. And, Kit Kats, sometimes they do seasonal things. I try to keep up with that. I always love to try, whatever wacky flavors they got brewing. So let's give these a shot. First of all, let's get a thing for the thing. I guess this, maybe later. Ha 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 ha! Let's give it a go. If you've ever seen the movie SLC Punk, how I feel about myself is very similar to how the main character felt about himself at the end of that movie. And if you haven't seen that movie, see that movie. It's really, really good. Genuinely one of my favorite films. Alright. Ghost Toast with the most. Looks like that. Got kind of a cinnamony flavor. I'm guessing that it seems like they're going for basically like a Cinnabon flavor. So, do our thing. Okay. There's sort of a delayed kind of thing to the flavor. Starting off, it's more cinnamony than anything else. And I kept waiting for like the cream aspect to hit in. It took a little bit, but it did eventually. And when it did, it hit in a big way. And it pretty much completely took over the flavor. When the cream hit, cinnamon was out the door. Which is kind of unfortunate because, for one thing, I would have liked more cinnamon flavor to begin with. I think if they are aiming for sort of a cinnamon toast, Cinnabon kind of deal, I think it needed more cinnamon. I'm just tossing that out there right now. The thing with cinnamon is that, usually when you think of cinnamon in light of like candies and stuff, you think more sort of a cinnamon sugar kind of blend, which is a little bit unfortunate because like cinnamon, of course, has, like a variety of properties depending on how you use it. It can be a little bit spicy. It can have, kind of an almost earthiness to it. No one ever really uses it, in cooking, obviously they do. But, like, I feel like we're missing out. I feel like if they'd gone over there, given this just the tiniest bit of, cinnamon heat, not to, like, maybe big red standards, but a little something extra, I think it would have really made for a more proper experience, because I think it would have allowed the cinnamon to really highlight itself and to stand up better against that cream flavor. Because again, when that kicks in, cinnamon out. And it's a shame also because that's a great flavor combination. I would have loved to have actually had those two flavors blend properly. But they're sort of unbalanced. And when the cream really takes over, that cinnamon, like I said, kind of goes out the window to a certain extent. And, I mean, I guess I'm trying to, reevaluating, I'm always trying to do what I can with the flavors at hand. I mean, it's something to it. The cinnamon is, I'll retract what I said to a certain extent. Cinnamon isn't completely gone, but it loses most of its oomph. I would say it probably loses about 90% of its oomph. There is still a little cinnamon sort of residual there, but the cream definitely takes over. The cream itself is a nice flavor. It tastes like a sweetened cream flavor. That's basically it. There's not a lot to it, but I'll say this: I'm surprised at the level of oomph that they were able to give it. Because cream, again, you think of it, it's a fairly standard flavor, but even with the cinnamon doing what it does, when that cream hits in, it really does hit. And it really does, like I said, it kind of takes over the whole experience, and it's a little bit surprising for a flavor like cream to really hit that way. I mean, all things considered, it's not a bad Kit Kat. But I have to admit, this is one of those ones where I was really excited for it because of what I thought it was going to taste like. And what I got, although still a good Kit Kat, did not live up to my expectations. But we'll cover that because two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes, however. As I was saying, I like it. I think it's a good Kit Kat. The cinnamon, the cream aspects, they work. I would have liked more balance, and I would have liked the cinnamon to play a bigger role. I think if the cinnamon had played a bigger role, I would have been a much bigger fan. But for what it is, it's still a good Kit Kat, and I see where they were going with it. I just don't think they fully committed. And I think that's a shame, because I think if they'd fully committed, I think this would have really been a Kit Kat that I was in love with. And that kind of ties back to, like I said, expectation versus reality. But even if I'm taking my expectations out of the equation, okay, fine. Do I like this more than, the majority of interesting flavors that Kit Kat has come out with in recent years, like the blueberry muffin, the birthday cake, what have you? No. And it's a shame because I think, again, on paper, this should have been up there. This really should have been up there. As is, it's kind of lower middle of the pack. It's a good one. I don't know that I feel that it's that Halloween themed in flavor, if I'm being honest with you. I think they could have done a lot more with that as well. I think my ideal circumstance, take this flavor combination, take the concept, take it out of the Halloween. I don't think it matches Halloween all that well. I think you could have done a lot more with Halloween to make that work. But, take it out, reevaluate it, bring it out, sometime later on. I don't know exactly what would be the perfect season for it, but this one deserves to be revisited and perfected because I think it's really good in concept. It's a little bit let down in execution. For that reason, if I'm recommending it, I'd still recommend you try it. It's a limited edition item. It's not a bad Kit Kat at all. It's just not a spectacular Kit Kat. And that's not a crime, but it is a bit of a shame. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have themselves a truly, I need to be done with reviews-tastic rest of the day, rest of your life. Folks, it's super simple format. Oh, wait, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But What do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I'd like you to go out and do. I'd like you to go out and try this one. Because I want to know what your take on it is. Am I completely talking out my ass? Is it the best flavor that Kit Kat has ever come up with? Or am I right on? And this is one of those ones where it's like, it's a great concept, but I feel like you kind of pushed out a little bit here. I would genuinely like to know what your take on this one is. Yeah, and to be fair, I kind of care most of the time, but there's certain things, it's like, like I got through reviewing a Circle K breakfast sandwich. I'll be honest with you. If you want to comment to whatever effect about said sandwich, that's great. I'd love to hear about it in its own way, but I don't care that much because at the end of the day, it's just a fucking, gas station breakfast sandwich. But this is one of those things where it's like, no, I think we need to have a discourse on this. But anyway. And no, I will not start up a fucking Discord. Somebody actually did bring that up a while, probably 2 years ago. Somebody was like, oh, you should have your Discord. No. I don't need one more thing to add to this whole thing. Some people do this thing, and they go over there and they have a whole little mini social media empire and blah, blah, blah. I have a YouTube channel. I comment in my comment section on an almost daily basis now. I try to do little things and stuff, and I try to comment with all you folks. That's as far as I'm going with it right now, till somebody starts paying me to do it. Bye!